to ask their questions. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Distinguished Senator Betty Apiafi.
Mr. President, sitting on the chair, Katukan and Sokoto, distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, the nominee has a wealth of experience that we can draw on. Looking at the way Nigeria is today, and considering that you're a member of the 1988 Constituent Assembly and the 2014 National Conference, looking at the situation of our country today, what lessons can we draw from those two conferences as an elder statesman and somebody who participated in these two conferences? What lessons can we draw to make Nigeria a better place? Thank you.
Senator Lawrence Orujakpo.
Thank you, Mr. President of the Senate, sitting as chair. My name is Lawrence Orujakpo. I represent the productive people of Bayelsa West Central District. Mr. Nominee, I want to congratulate you and also to commend you for the wealth of experience. Your CV is quite rich. But two questions quickly. First, considering the fact that for a fish to decay, it starts from the head. And the bedrock of our educational system is like a pyramid, where you have the primary schools, so many primary schools, quite a large number of secondary schools, and you have few universities as a pyramid. And considering the fact that less energy in terms of resources is deployed to the primary educational system, which is the foundation, what do you think you would suggest in terms of looking at what resources we put into TED fund and what we put into UBEG? What do you think we can do so that we can get the primary school very well? Because if you don't get the basics very well, you can't get the head very well. What do you think we can do to retweak our funding of the primary education system to make it very effective? Because currently we have it as a responsibility for the local governments, and we know what the local governments are. That is question one. Two, this is general question. Do you think we are getting enough derivatives from our tax in terms of especially the telecom industry? Because you have wide experience. Considering that you are taking to the Ministry of Communication, do you think we are getting commensurate tax from the telecommunication industry, considering what we are putting in terms of resources? Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, Senator Ibrahim Oloragbe.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as the chair, my name is Dr. Ibrahim Oloragbe. I join my colleagues that have spoken earlier to congratulate the katukan Sokoto. I'm very impressed with your wealth of experience and service. And I see that you had a long sojourn in civil service. My question is simple and it's only one. What would you advise as policy, as a member of the Executive Council of the Cabinet, on reform that could be done to federal civil service in the areas of the directorate, as it was changed before to say 8 years and now it is about to be reversed? Which one is better? And what do you advise that will strengthen the civil service? Thank you.
You can answer the questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. The first question from Madam Distinguished Senator, she wants to know the lessons that we stand to learn from the conferences we had in 1988 and 2014. I want to believe that these conferences are intended to allow people to decide how they want to manage this great country. And most importantly, from the experiences that we have seen, Nigerians have come to agree to live as one indivisible country, in spite of all the differences that you find that are coming up and at such fora. It is important that these kind of conferences are from time to time conducted to give people the opportunity to say their minds and how they want this country to be run, how they want it to be governed. A nominee just who came about some few hours ago here was talking about amendments of the Constitution in this place and in that place. These are all part of the agitations that Nigerians are always having, even though I wanted to disagree with the fact that we are not here for these issues relating to constitutional review, constitutional amendment. This chamber has adequate information, adequate data on issues that relate to constitutional amendment. What we are here for is a ministerial screening, and the Senate has all the time to arrange for this kind of forum where they will listen to people, where they will give Nigerians the opportunity, which I believe they have at the last assembly. They have given that opportunity, and I think from what we are seeing these days, it will not be out of place if we allow people to say their mind as to how best they think we can move this country forward. The second question raised by the distinguished senator relates to primary education. Even though I didn't get him well, but I think primary education is the backbone of all other levels of education. If we are able to ensure that primary education is sound and effective, all the other tiers of education will follow suit. With the little experience that I got when I came to National Commission for Colleges of Education, I have discovered the need to strengthen the basic education, because without strengthening that level of education, all other tiers of government education are going to suffer, and negatively too. So I want to believe that we need to put our heads together, even though education is on the concurrent list, but there is need for harmony, for understanding, so that education in this country can be taken to greater heights. He also talked about tax, particularly relating to tax coming from communication industries, and he wanted to know whether I will agree to the fact that what we are getting from them is adequate. I want to believe that we need to do more in order to generate revenue for this country. And the major source of revenue in this country is these communication and telecom industries. We can get a lot of revenue from them, and I believe we can do more to generate revenue from these companies for the development of our nation. The last question was raised on the issue of civil service reform. Civil service reform, we have been undergoing reforms of the civil service structure, but my personal opinion is that what we have today in the federal civil service is adequate. What we need to do is to enhance training and retraining of our civil servants and get them to be committed, carry them along so that together we'll move this country forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Ifanyuba, and then Senator Elisha Clifford Ishaku Abo.